You should be anticipating this release if you enjoy shows like Narcos. Considering how well-liked Narcos was, it appears that Narco Saints might tread some familiar ground. However, given the Kurama twist, Narco Saints might astound fans of the genre. Every episode of Narco Saints begins with a disclaimer that the series is based on a true story that has been dramatized. Here are the things that we need to know about the first season. The series is about Kang Ingu, who describes Suriname, a South American country near Brazil where half of the population is involved in the drug trade. He describes how he became involved in this. Ingu was always watching his father work. He lost both of his parents as a teenager and had to take care of two younger siblings. In middle school, he began judo because it allowed him to eat for free. While delivering yogurt, his mother died. In a car accident, his father died. Ingu then started working. He served food to hikers during the day and worked at a karaoke bar at night. He eventually marries and has two children. He didn't spend time with them, but rather focused on money-making or providing for them. Ingu learned about how to repair cars and ended up opening a garage in front of the U.S. Army base. He learned English and bought the karaoke bar. He then took a loan and leased a house. One day, his best friend Ungsu, a fisherman, paid him a visit. Ungsu spent time in Suriname where nobody eats steakfish and they all get tossed out. So he suggested to buy the fish from Suriname and sell it in Korea. He shared this idea to his wife. At first, she didn't want him to go, but later she allowed him to go as long as he attended church. Ingu and Ungsu flew to Suriname where they bought steak cheaply and shipped them back to Korea. While working in his factory, Ingu got a visit from local soldier of the Allied force who wanted his cut in order to allow him to resume his business in Suriname and to offer him protection. He requested to be paid $2,000 a month. Ingu was forced to pay it. Ingu finds himself into a lot of problems because of the church. Ingu immediately runs afoul of Chen Zhen, the leader of a local Chinese gang, after forming an alliance with the Suriname Allied forces for protection. Chen Zhen demands that Ingu pay more than the company currently makes each month to avoid being put to death. The negotiation didn't go well. The Chinese leader is so angry that he orders his men to beat them up as a warning. He insisted that they owe him money and that they must pay at the end of the month. However, the pastor John shows particular concern for Ingu and Ungsu when they arrive at church covered in scrapes and bruises. He emphasizes that his divine goal is to assist them, and he appears to be in a unique position to assist them. As the business began to improve, Kang and Ungsu became more committed to its success. Unfortunately, things took a drastic turn when the owner of the boat that was transporting their goods called. After cocaine was discovered in the stakes, they were seized. Things worsen when Kang is imprisoned. With some prior experience, he tries to bribe a police officer in order to find a way out, not realizing how quickly things will change. Choi Chang-ho, the head of the National Intelligence Service of the United States branch, approaches him and requests his assistance in apprehending Pastor Jun Johan. He enlightens him and explains that Pastor Johan is a drug smuggler who has taken over Europe with his cocaine dealings and is using Kang's shipment to Korea as a test route for his drugs. Kang is shocked to learn that his best friend Park has been murdered after attempting to learn more about the shipment where drugs were discovered and learning the identity of the pastor. Choi's main goal is to persuade Kang to transport the drugs through an American port, allowing the DEA to arrest without foreign interference. After that, Kang discovers a turf war involving the biggest names in South Africa in a small town called Suriname. Kang is unaware of the presence of an NIS insider in the pastor's inner circle. Kang is taken aback when Bayan reveals himself to be an insider. Bayan is on their side, according to Agent Choi. Pastor Johan is still waiting to find out if Kang and Choi's collaboration has thrown all of his plans for the cocaine trade through Puerto Rico out of whack. He suspects them after his close aide informs him. Even though he considers Kang to be a genuine friend, he begins to suspect him. Meanwhile, after calling all the shots without Agent Choi's constant orders, Kang's plan of averting Johan's suspicions is working perfectly. Kang is hesitant to trust Choi after discovering that Choi planted drugs in his shipments in order to gain access to Pastor Johan and use Kang as a civilian operative. Kang put his family's safety at danger by losing all the savings he had put into the company. After losing his best friend, he is now facing more risks. He makes the choice to take action out of respect for his conscience. Choi and Kang are now more driven than ever to finish this mission and have Pastor Johan jailed since women and children are being cruelly drugged and forced to continue working for him while under this influence. With everything in motion, Choi is able to persuade the DEA that he has enough proof to apprehend Pastor John Johan when he travels through Puerto Rico, a port that is situated in the United States. When the official drop-off in Puerto Rico arrives, Pastor Johan makes a last-minute call and decides to send his liaison instead of being present due to the arrest. It thwarts Agent Choi's only opportunity to apprehend Pastor Johan. It even risks his liaison, Sangjun, ratting on the DEA in order to help Pastor Johan escape. When the commanding US DEA agent arrests Sangjun as a result of a quick change in strategy, they warn him during questioning that the operation must run smoothly. Sangjun informs the pastor subtly that everything is fine and that he would like to open a bottle of champagne upon his return. It alerts Pastor Johan to the fact that his liaison does not drink, informing him of an impending threat to the product. During the call, with Kang and Agent Bayan sitting before Pastor Johan, the pastor slowly pulls away with his most trusted bodyguard. He returns to surround them both and interrogates Kang about his plans to steal the shipment with his partner. Kang is taken aback by this line of questioning, but he is armed and ready for a fight. Meanwhile, now that his product has left his possession, Pastor Yang is struggling to locate it with certainty. When he calls President Delano to check on the plane's safety, something doesn't feel right in his gut. Meanwhile, the DEA determined that drugs were present in the disguised grain sacks and was in charge of arresting Pastor Johan in Suriname. They work with the Surinamese Air Force, and the president is suddenly informed that they are in their airspace. The president learns that his own partner attempted to sell drugs on American soil, which is illegal under American law, putting him in a dangerous crossfire with America. Knowing this, Pastor Johan must now flee for his life. He immediately does so, but Agent Bayan reveals himself and a fight ensues. The Americans have already established a perimeter around his compound and begun shooting the pastor's Brazilian bodyguards. It renders him defenseless and terrified, with insufficient men to protect him. The remaining guards rush to the cars in an attempt to save Pastor Johan. Kang has already disconnected all of the vehicles, and none will start. When the two finally agree, Pastor Johan flees, resulting in a car chase with Kang hot on his tail. Choi is in the helicopter above, following all of the vehicles. Pastor Johan and Kang get into a brawl near a boat where the pastor is attempting to escape, and Kang refuses to let him. When Kang has the pastor gasping for air, Agent Choi arrives just in time to reveal himself as an agent, not Kang's partner. Agent Choi arrests the pastor, and the DEA returns him to the United States to face drug trafficking and dealing charges. After all of this, he returns to his family for a heartfelt reunion. And 6 months later, Chang-ho shows up at his auto shop with 2 karaoke bars courtesy of the NIS. However, Ingu does not accept them. He only wants to work for himself right now, and too much responsibility would likely keep him away from home for too long. He wants to tell his family about his job with NIS, but Chang-ho tells him that NIS can never officially acknowledge his part in Takedown. Chang-ho reveals that he went to see John in prison, and he wanted him to pass along a message to Kang. It's about the autographed baseball that Kang has. The pastor said that the baseball is the only real thing he has ever owned. Kang is shocked to learn that it's not a fake, but an authentic. That's all we've got for today, guys. Also, don't forget to thumbs up the video and subscribe for more entertaining content. And we'll see you again soon.